This is your daily dose of all things royal.
Where is this money going? I mean, we know where some of it's going in Minnesota. It went overseas. It went to Somalia. It went to NGO fronts. We know where it's gone in some other states. California gave away billions of dollars to a pro-Hamas NGO. But $1 trillion nationally. Where's this money going to?
I appreciate that question because most people don't ask that question. It goes to terrorism. It goes to child trafficking. It goes to drugs. It goes to terrorism. And then it's used to purchase luxury items, cars, purses, homes. That's all funded by people like me that pay taxes.
So you're telling me that the electrician who goes to work every day and clocks in and works his butt off and tries to earn just enough to be able to, make his rent, maybe have a kid or two, put food on the table, his tax money is being used to buy other people luxury items, cars, yachts, whatever else, and is going to fund terrorism and child trafficking?
Yes, sir.
$1 trillion a year on this stuff?
$115 million an hour.
Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. I just wanted to jump on here and give you a quick light video and check in with you and ask you, are you okay? I know the last couple days we are being hit with so much information, a lot of information that's incredibly troubling as well as infuriating. So I know people are feeling a certain way, but the purpose of this video is to take our minds off of it, at least for a second. And I never thought I would say this, but Meghan is the perfect distraction that we need right now because this hot mess gives us something to laugh about in all her ridiculousness. Look, we know that this couple is connected to the Epstein class. I'm surprised they have been so quiet recently, but, they were on the cover of this magazine today called Heat, and I thought it was comical. I think today, for me, after what I've seen going on in the world, this is a welcome distraction. Between what's going on with Epstein and then hearing this about our tax money, I think that's what broke the camel's back for me today. So just humor me and hit that like button. Hopefully YouTube will pick up this video because it's not anything that's controversial. That this is a video that they'll probably promote. So help the kid out, hit that like button, and let's see what happens. Sit back, get comfortable, and let's just disassociate for a minute. So now this UK tabloid, Heat magazine, is putting out there that Harry and Meghan are living separate lives. I mean, I think we're now in year 3 where we've been saying that Harry and Meghan have been living separately now. They're not telling us anything new, but I'm guessing this is to get us accustomed to the idea that this is really happening. Harry and Meghan, separate lives once the cameras are off. Friends have suggested the marriage isn't all it seems. You think? They ditched the UK for the US in 2020, and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's life in California has come under intense scrutiny again of late. According to reports, the couple are on different paths in their professional lives, with the Duchess of Sussex heavily focused on her lifestyle brand as ever, while Harry is yet to find a direction. And it's having a real impact on their marriage. And despite the couple putting on beaming smiles for the cameras, the reality behind closed doors tells a different story, with sources saying that the pair are leading separate lives. An insider tells Heat they are still publicly pushing the us against the world narrative, but their professional lives have split in two. They're on very different schedules now and spending lots of time apart. They come together for the occasional one-off appearance to keep up the image of being a team, but most of the time they're operating individually. The source adds Meghan is still focused on Hollywood and creating her brand, while Harry is going at a different pace. He finds schmoozing Tinseltown types boring and is pouring all his energy into Invictus, his charity for wounded servicemen and women, and securing speaking gigs. They're also moving in very different social circles. The marriage is nowhere near as perfect as it seems, and that's evidenced by how separate their lives are when the cameras are off. Fans of the couple, who married in 2018, were thrilled when they stepped out at the Sundance Film Festival together in late January to promote their new documentary, Cookie Queens, which they executive produced through their company, Archwell Productions. But behind the scenes, their professional lives have been blighted with disappointing setbacks. While he made almost £20 million from his 2023 memoir Spare, Harry is looking for his next project amid the couple's insanely high living expenses. They're reportedly spending up to £2.2 million a year on security, as well as monthly payments on a £7 million mortgage, and further costs for both their household and professional staff. Many of the pair's multi-million pound deals, including those with Netflix and Spotify, have come to a halt. And the Duchess lifestyle series With Love, Meghan has been canceled by the streaming giant after just 2 seasons. Rumors of Harry filming a documentary in Africa amounted to nothing, while their show Polo only lasted 1 series. The Sussexes are still set to produce a film adaptation of Jasmine Guillory's The Wedding Date. But while they're used to join forces when it came to new projects, they now reportedly have their own offices. Despite the fact Harry, who is reported to not be leaving the house much in the States, turned his back on his family after moving across the pond. He has publicly declared that he would like to reconcile with the royals, though Meghan is said to be more hesitant. The insider says this career arrangement isn't doing them any favors as a couple. But with Harry wanting to spend more time in the UK, things seem unlikely to improve anytime soon. Meghan simply doesn't want to be there, and he won't force her. The suggested compromise is that Harry blocks out regular trips for work commitments and to build on the truce with his father. Meghan is supportive of that plan, but it's likely to lead to serious emotional distance in the marriage. While there's no suggestion that Harry and Meghan are planning to end things, insiders told Heat last October that a divorce plan has been created by the royals in case they ever decide to part ways. The insider explained the courtiers are considering a golden handshake settlement, which would be generous but heavily structured, telling us Meghan would be granted the continued use of her Duchess of Sussex titles as a face-saving measure, should the worst come to the worst. The palace also wants to confirm that the future of their children, Archie and little Betty, would be pre-mapped in meticulous detail. This would encompass schooling, where they live, custody, and travel permissions, all to be agreed until the age of 18. And while this is all very much a just-in-case scenario, Harry and Meghan's solo lives are only fueling fears of a split. Our insider continues, the last few months have been so hectic. Harry's going from one trip to another, but Meghan's schedule is also totally slammed. She's home, but has no free time. They try to schedule quality time, but their date nights end up at the bottom of the priority list. Their temporary phase is becoming the new normal, and the longer it goes on, the harder reconnecting will be. The Sussexes insist there's nothing to worry about, but friends are whispering that something isn't quite right. All the photo ops in the world can't make up for quality time. Okay, so here's my take on all of this. I think the Epstein scandal and the exposure of all those files has been a blessing in disguise. Now, hear me out. Here's why. I do think that Harry and Meghan have an agreement that's already worked out. Meghan knows how much she's going to get. She's going to sign something to where she'll never talk about the royals again, God willing, and that they will have a plan in place for those 2 invisible children. I think all of that has been in the works for a while now. But I don't think that they anticipated this scandal to blow up so massively. And what I mean by, right now, the royals are not in the best light at the moment. So Meghan's not going to want to be near or touch any of that. And you see how quiet they have been. I also think that this throws a wrench into Harry getting his security back. Make no mistake about it, the royal family's reputation has taken a hit as a result of Andrew, sadly. They're not going to rock the boat by giving Harry back his security, especially since Labor is falling apart at this moment. They're not going to do that for this idiot. No way. Not after today, especially when the Labour government went ahead and changed all the branding for the UK. Instead of it being His Majesty's government, it's now just the UK government. So what does that tell you? I mean, didn't they say a decision was going to come back in January? We're already in the second week of February. And I believe not next week, but the week after, the Department of State is going to come back with a status on the records that they have for Prince Harry. So I think that it's not a good sign. I also think Meghan's not going to be stepping back anywhere near the royal family anytime soon, especially with this scandal right now. And the same thing goes for Harry. Harry's going to distance himself. So now this change today by the Labour government, I think, is pretty significant. Did King Charles give his blessing on this, or did the Labour government just go ahead and do it? In any event, this is a slap in the face to the institution, in my opinion. When you look at this change in the big picture of things, it is symbolic because essentially the royal family has turned their back on the UK and has neglected its people. All of those girls being groomed and gang raped, and not a single member spoke out about it. That's why yesterday, when Catherine and William issued that statement, it fell on deaf ears for me. Because, you're going to say your thoughts are with the victims, but what about your own people and the suffering that's going on in your own country? Nah, it doesn't wash with me. So in this case, yeah, it was the royal families to lose here. What I feel bad about is that Charles is ruining it for William and Catherine. I think from the very beginning, Charles should have handled Andrew the moment he became king. And the same thing with Harry and Meghan. But if it has something to do with this Epstein situation, then, maybe that's why nothing has happened. But essentially, the royal family allowed this to fester, and now they can't ignore it anymore because the institution is at stake. I personally think Charles should abdicate and allow William to take the reins so he can salvage what's left of the institution before it's too late. The concerning thing that I have, though, is by the time William gets to take it over, he might not want it because the UK might be in such a condition that he might just say, I'm going to take my family and go live a happy life with my billions and let Harry and Meghan rule over the ashes. I mean, that this is what this woman is dying to do. And that's quite scary to think about because Meghan is part of the Epstein class and is that diabolical and demonic. This woman is a narcissistic psychopath. She has no business being given any kind of power because we know that she'll abuse it. What's evident is that the royal PR machines are working overtime. And in addition to Harry and Meghan's PR teams, we also have the York sisters and their PR teams spinning up, showing them distancing themselves from Andrew and Fergie. I don't know why they need to do it because we don't see them very much. But now all of a sudden we're seeing Eugenie in Qatar. I don't know what she's doing there. Possibly setting up a place for her father. I don't know. Just kidding. But now they're trying to make it look like they're distancing from their parents, which I don't see the point, But in this magazine, they also did a little blurb that I'm going to share with you, pretty much saying what I'm telling you is that they're trying to distance themselves and that they're furious with their parents. I don't think people buy it because they were hanging out with the same people. They were hanging out with the same crowd. I mean, duh, they were hanging out with Meghan Markle. Need we say any more? Eugenie and Beatrice cut ties with revolting parents. The latest release of the files relating to Jeffrey Epstein have been irrevocably damaging, with Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Sarah Ferguson coming under renewed fire for their ties to the late convicted sex offender. And now, insiders tell Heath that Beatrice and Eugenie are looking to distance themselves from their disgraced parents. They both feel so humiliated. Just when they thought things couldn't get any worse, all these new sordid details come out. As far as they're concerned, their parents have destroyed the entire family with their revolting behavior, says a source. They are deeply hurt that their own parents would put them in this position, and the more they find out, the more disturbing it gets. If they don't put a firm distance between themselves and their parents, they risk being dragged down with them. They're both so angry, there's no going back. The newly revealed files further document the extent of Andrew and Sarah's friendship with Epstein. In one particularly disturbing photo, the former prince can be seen kneeling over an unidentified woman lying on the floor. An exotic dancer also claimed she had been offered $10,000 to engage in various sex acts with Andrew and Epstein. It was also revealed the former Duchess of York, who called Epstein the brother I have always wished for, discussed Eugenie's sex life with him. Emails also indicated that she took Eugenie and Beatrice, then 19 and 21, to lunch with Epstein in July 2009. Just days after he was released from prison following a conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor. Now, the insider says that the sisters are even exploring their legal options. They need to act decisively or risk being dragged down with their parents via guilt by association, we're told. They've both opted for no contact, which is very upsetting for Andrew and Sarah, but the girls aren't budging. They need some space to come to terms with all of this. Beatrice and Eugenie have both realized that the underlying loyalty to their parents is not an option. All this comes as Prince William and Catherine are said to be reevaluating Beatrice and Eugenie's roles within the royal family. We're told this changes everything. For William and Catherine, who are increasingly shaping the monarchy's future, perception matters. Catherine has always been protective of them, but this is hugely damaging. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think William and Catherine are going to tolerate Eugenie and Beatrice. I don't think they can be trusted. That's just my opinion. But what do you guys think of all of this? Definitely let me know how you feel below. As always, I will be back with more content, but until then, please be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!
Such a fraud.